It's showtime. You are live.
Here
we go. We are live. 5 seconds in. I can't start the clock reverse because we're already live. Get it?
Oh my God.
But instead of doing 3, 2, 1 when we start, I can't do, the reverse count.
I got you. Oh, right. Got you. Well,
I was trying to make it funny, but
you were so not funny. Hello, everyone. Oh, let me tweet that we're live. I have my tweet all ready to go. And I just have to push tweet and we're good to go.
Yes, let's please also watch our language tonight. Watching our P's and Q's, heavenly angels this evening, for the sake of the good of mankind.
Okay, well, we'll have to tell our guests later to to be nice.
Self-edit button.
Yes, exactly. Before we start, let's just say hi to a couple people who came early. Jacob's here, Scott's here, Angela's here.
Angela.
Telhan, is that how you say that? Trey. Muerto. Muerta. I say that wrong every single time. Simon's here. Tim's here. True Sinister's here. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Keep coming in. We got a great guest tonight. So if you want to start, Alex is here. Well, everybody's pouring in. Glad to see everybody here on this Sunday evening. But if you want to start,
keep going. I'm typing something.
You're typing something. Okay. Queen Francine should return to the Royal Rumble if Vince is not there. Well, I can't return to something I was never at, but I have no interest in that. But thank you for wanting me to be there. William's here. Hello. I'm glad you made it to your first live or one of our lives. You tend to miss them all, William. So thanks for coming. Tom's here. Oh, Tom, first timer. Thanks for coming in, Tom. You picked a great night to come. Mad Cool Clips is here. Hello. Yes, people are trickling in. We have a very, very exciting show tonight, and I'm super excited to talk to my friend Rhino.
All right, ready?
Joining us shortly. Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get it going right here, right now. This is Eyes Up Here, and you're listening and watching a brand new Eyes Up Here exclusively on our YouTube channel, on our Patreon channel, and on the Creative Control Network. If you didn't know by now, my name is Chad, and every single week I am joined here by the one and only Queen of Extreme. She is the one and only Francine. What is going on in this wonderful YouTube live world, Miss Francine?
I am just happy to be here on this beautiful Sunday evening. I ate too much pizza and I'm a little bloated, but I'm here and I'm good to go. So I'm excited for tonight's show. It's going to be a good one.
Yes, feeling the gore already prior
to I have felt that gore several times, and let me tell you, I don't miss it, but I do miss the man behind the gore. And to start us off hot, Scott Smith with a $10 super sticker. Scott, thank you so much.
International super sticker, Scott. So with an asterisk.
Well, guess what, Scott? You know what that means? Charles Chip Jar. Everybody gets to go in the Charles Chip Jar $5. You want to explain that before we get into?
Yes, of course I can. And like I said, international for Mr. Scott. For our domestic fans and listeners and super chatters, if you don't mind, $5 super chats and up. Ask a question when Rhino joins the show, as well as to Francine and myself, and enter to win a prize this evening, which will be as part of what? What do you?
I was going to say, well, can we give Scott at least one entry?
Yeah, we'll get. Oh no, he'll get Scott.
Oh, I thought you said domestic.
Well, I said domestic, but we give Scott something.
We love Scott. He's a Patreon member. He's a fellow listener. Can I put him in?
You can put him in. Go ahead, put him in.
Put him in. Scott, you're going in the Charles Chip Jar.
Here we go. But I'm going to show you what tonight's on the line here, and that is this bad boy from the prized collection of the Chadster, near and dear to my heart. One of the first times, or maybe the second time you and I, spent some time together. Back in 2019, says right on it. The 2-Man Power Trip Con, number 3 in Richmond, Virginia. You two folks, this is what's on the line here. So get the super chats in, the questions, get in and join us. It's going to be a heck of a time tonight, but this is what you're playing for this evening. Questions, comments, concerns, and super chats. We want them all.
Yeah, exactly. And, we like to give back. So any money that comes in goes straight to the channel to better it and for us to do more for you. So we appreciate the support and want to give you something back. So that's a beautiful picture. I like it. I don't even have one. I had one.
You had one. I gave you one.
I had one. I had one, and New Year's Eve we gave it away as an incentive on the wheel. So
yes, it's also for those that want to know, it's 11 by 17 in size. So this is not an 8 by 10. This is a biggie. This is a nice size one. Black, 11 by 17, get a nice frame, look very nice.
Isn't she a Butte Clark? Where's that from?
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
There you go. There you go.
Very good.
All right. Yeah. So tonight is special because I don't see Rhino do a lot of these.
No.
We were at the signing for Icons, and he ended up sitting next to me. And out of the blue, he had just said, "Oh, I listened to your podcast." And I go, "Yeah, right." Because who does? And he goes, "No, I did. It came up as one of my recommendeds." And he told me what episode he listened to, so I knew he wasn't BSing me. And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, it was pretty good." And I was like, "Would you come on the show?" He's like, "I'll do it." So I was like, "Okay, I'm going to hold you to that." So then when we decided to do this, I was like, Rhino would be perfect. So I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
To be chatting with him. We have a new channel membership, William Hensey.
There you go.
YouTube member. William, you get to use all the cool emojis. We thank you for that. Again, being a member supports the channel, and you also get to go into the Charles Chip Jar.
Get in the chip jar. And
Charles Chip Jar.
Is there any truth to the rumor that when Rhino did mention that about listening to the show, that he remarked about how well your co-host threw a couple 2 cents into the conversation, carried, parts of the show? Did he mention any of this to you?
Unfortunately, the only person who ever mentions you is Jimmy Wang Yang. No one else put you over, but me and Jimmy. Sorry.
Damn it.
It's okay. You'll be good.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. There you go. Thank you, William, with a heart. We appreciate you. So you get a chance at that 8 by 10, or excuse me, 11 by 17. The bigger one. Sorry. Yes, it's huge. But yeah, we're going to talk to Rhino. So we'll get some questions. If you have any questions, your super chats pop up, and we see those first. So keep them coming in, and we'll get Rhino on here in just a couple minutes.
Yep.
Anything new going on with you that we need to know about?
No, you and I spent a lot of time together. We were recording some amazing Eyes Up Here content that's coming soon to Patreon, as well as the Eyes Up Here podcast affiliate, Creative Control Network.
Mm-hmm.
So, between when we last saw each other, not too much, but there's stuff we could talk about after we're done with Rhino. But what's been new with you? You're preparing for your trip,
yes.
Counting down the minutes and the seconds. Every time we get together, it's a little closer.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. For those who don't know, we're going to Disney World soon, and who cares? Michael's Wrestling Channel, $10 super chat. Happy New Year, Francine and Chad. Hope you all had a great holiday. I have met Rhino in May 2013 when Jerry Lynn had the retirement show at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. Rhino is a sweetheart. He is a terror in the ring, but my God, if you meet him at a convention, he is the nicest person alive. So I'm sure it was a wonderful meeting Michael. And guess what? You get 2 entries in the Charles Chip Jar. And I'm going to do those right now. If you want to go ahead and send the link over.
I sent it already.
Oh, you did? Okay, great.
Hey, Michael, was that the show where he had his last match with X-Pac, or was that the show where they did like a ceremony for him? Because I know he had a couple Dynamite, he had some great matches as he was working his way to the end. I just don't know which was the actual last match. There was one show in New Jersey that I know was at the end. I just can't remember if the Minneapolis was the last or the Jersey was the last.
Yeah, tell us. But as far as me, yeah, I'm just getting ready for my trip. Lots of laundry. I have lots of packing to do. I bought a new set of ears. So now I have Maleficent ears to go along with my mini ears. So I'm very, very excited about that. And, it's coming. And I'm super happy about it.
Fast and furious.
Can't wait to get the hell out of here. Get me out of here.
I just saw that Universal LA or Hollywood has Super Mario World. Have you seen?
Yes,
anything
I
about
have
that?
seen that. Yep, and Universal's also making a new park in Texas. So,
okay.
Scott Smith returning with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, he's battling for that. All right, he wants his next entry.
Scott, you got it, buddy. You're back in the chip jar again.
He's gonna, if he wins that thing, it's gonna take him about 6 years for me to ship it to him.
You can try as many times as you want, Scott. We love you for it. So thank you. He says, I met him once in 2017.
Talked about his backlash match against Raven.
I'm
What is that?
sorry.
Backlash 2000, 2001?
Rhino was like, did you email me the link?
Yes, tell him it came from your awesome, dynamic co-host and producer's email.
Didn't put you over, but I just put my co-host in. So he'll get that, and then
you can tell him to click the link in the email that comes with my email signature as well if he wants to learn more.
Well, I don't know if he'll go that far, but it's good to have him. So he's going to click that, and then we're going to start. Let's see. Scott does want that prize. I think a lot of people want that prize, but how do I become a member? There is a button under, I believe it's under isn't it under the picture? He never got it, he said.
All right, well, send it again.
Did you do it in all lowercase?
I just did it to the same exact thing that you sent me. Literally.
Spam.
How about, do you want me to forward it to you and you forward it to him?
You
want it?
Hold on.
We're working this out on the air, but
answer the chat. Do the chats while I hold on.
I will absolutely.
Okay.
Let's see. Yes, Francine is still doing cameos, right?
I am, but they're not. I haven't turned it on in a couple weeks. I've just been too busy.
Yeah, so Talia, under our subscribe, like when you go to the main page to like view the channel and subscribe, there should be a little button that says become a member. You just click that and it takes you to where you have to go.
Can you text me the link instead of email it to me, and then I could just not in there. He never received it.
Absolutely can.
All right, hurry up. All right.
Hurry up.
Yeah. We got dead air here. Come on.
How much faster do you want me to go? Jeez.
Thanks, William, for helping. Yeah, it's the $5 super chat, Michael's wrestling channel. I think he
was facing X-Pac at the show. I don't remember too much. Yeah, I think maybe they might have had a series of matches, but I just couldn't remember if it was New Jersey or if it was Minneapolis where the last match took place. That was where I was trying to reach the back parts of my mind to remember the last match of one Gerald Lynn.
Oh, he keeps telling me it can't be capitalized. Hold on.
So I do know how email works. That is the good thing.
Is this right? This isn't right. Oh my God.
Let's see. What else do we have here? Click the super chat. That is where the join was for me. Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's exactly where the join button is. On the YouTube page where we currently are, and we continue to add to the YouTube page every single week. Just added one of Francine's most devastating bumps that she ever took, which was the total elimination. And this one was a biggie because we think it might have been the first time she took it. And it was something like 27 years ago, 3 days ago or 4 days ago in the history of ECW. So that was a pretty historic moment. Where are we at? Best wrestling event I've ever attended was the night ECW put on a show in my town, Poplar Bluff, Missouri, back in January of 2001, just after Guilty as Charged 2001.
That was our last show.
It just says
Oh,
Poplar.
Pine Bluff. No, Pine Bluff.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Pine Bluff, and it just passed 2 days ago was the anniversary.
Yeah. Oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry.
Oh, Michael's Wrestling Channel, new member of the air. Oh, and I have even better news. Joining the show, Eyes Up Here, is just an absolute man beast of an individual. I am very pleased to
Wait, is he
bring to
here?
the show the one and only,
What the
the
hell?
last ECW World Champion. He is Rhino joining the
I just
show.
sent you the link. What happened?
What's going on?
Did you
How are
find
you?
the other link?
Yeah, I got the email. Yep. Yeah.
See, Rhino,
Came through.
Sent it
I
again.
came through and nobody thought I did, but it was sitting in the email.
I'm so sorry.
Nice,
It
nice.
took me 5 minutes to send it, and then you pop up before I even push send. Oh my God.
Right. No, my email is very sensitive. I think it's because of my phone. If you capitalize the first letter, it won't come through.
Well, you know what, honey? You're a very sensitive man. I've come to learn that about you.
Extremely sensitive.
How are you? You're coming off a big
Great.
pay-per-view.
Yeah, for Impact Wrestling.
Yeah. So what? I think you got robbed. What happened?
Yeah, I got robbed. He raked my eyes in Brian Myers.
Oh, breaking the eyes.
Yeah, and then Matt Cardona rolled me up, pulled the trunks, and actually the crowd booed. They did not want to see Heath and I get eliminated. But
can I say, I love you and Heath together.
Oh, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. Everybody, I think, because they love him, and they loved him in the one-man band. And I got kids, and I need this job, and then it was such a mismatch that it just worked. So we're such, and the cool thing about it is we're a classic tag team. We travel together, we room together, everything, go to the gym together. Yeah. So
I like it because when we were at WrestleCade, you were sitting like across the room from us.
Right.
And Heath was in my group with, we were all brought in by the same promoter. And he was standing on his chair and he's going, Rhino, I miss you. He's screaming. You were so far away.
Right.
But you guys are great together. I love you guys as a team. I think it's great. I think it's a great chemistry and a great dynamic.
It is. And you know what? It was only supposed to last for a match or two, but it's one of those things where the fans really took to it, and that's why it's still going today.
It clicked.
So yeah. So it's from WWE to Impact Wrestling, and we'll do a lot of indie shows together, and we'll do a lot of singles matches on the independent scene. But yeah, people love it, and and he's just such a great guy.
Yeah,
he's a family guy, and he's just funny, and and even when I think he's not trying to be funny, he's just funny, and he's a good person, good soul too.
I just met him recently, last year was the first time I ever met him at one of the conventions, and he's become one of my most favorite guys in the business because he's so down to earth and just country, doesn't give a crap, just whatever. He's really, really a good person that I can tell, and I don't even know him that well. So how fun. Well, I'm so glad that you and I reconnected because it's been a while since I've seen you. I'm not really sure when the last time was that we've.
It was. I think it was right before your first was born. Your first.
You were at my show.
Yeah, I was at your show.
Yes, and you
we just watched it like a couple months ago.
Yeah, we watched the show. I remember what happened. So I had to call the office. It was TNA. I wanted you there, and I had to go through the office, right?
Yeah,
so So I got you there, and then the office called, and they heard about the blood match, and they told me specifically, he can't go on after the blood. You have to move him. And I said, no, he's my main event. You were the only guy that was on my roster that was on TV. All of us were off TV.
Okay.
You were the only one that had a job.
Who did I wrestle? I'm trying to remember.
Oh God, I don't know, but you were supposed to be my main event. Oh, I think you ended up in a 3-way with Jamie Dundee. and somebody else, I can't remember, turned into a little bit of a comedy because I had to put you on like fourth
Yeah, yeah.
because of the blood, and I was so
Right,
pissed off because I was
right, right,
you were my big match and we had to change
right.
everything, but and you were so sweet. You were like, "Don't pay me." And I
Yeah,
said, "No, I'm paying you. Like this
yeah,
isn't
and
your
then
fault, it's the office's fault, you know?"
yeah, because the office, they would let me work with some of the people, but yeah, sometimes they would just price you out too high, and I never liked that deal. If I'm gonna do the indies, I like to be able to work with the promoters personally.
Right.
But under that deal, and I understand what they were trying to accomplish, but under that deal, it wasn't really, because I built a lot of relationships with the promoters and talent that decide to run shows, and now they have to deal with the office, and it's a little more difficult to get stuff done because they're in charge of 20 or 30 other guys or girls to book them out, and it just sometimes they never get back to the promoters, or they want to charge them too much, and it's like they don't realize promoters, independent promoters have a budget that they really have to stick to,
Right. Absolutely.
and so
No, but
especially
you
if they
were
want to
great.
build.
I
Yeah,
I I paid you what they told me to pay you because I was like,
yeah.
"This is not you,"
But
but you were
I told them to bring it down though too.
oh,
Initially,
you oh, well, I
yeah, they
appreciate
wanted
that.
like double. I go,
Oh
no,
my
you can't
goodness.
do that.
Jeez
So
Louise.
even if it's a sold out show, and you do a pay per view and you make millions of dollars, it didn't matter. So,
Yeah.
but
Well,
It
I
was
just thought that
it was Rhino versus Jamie Dundee versus Scotty Anton.
yeah,
Scotty Anton and poor Scotty couldn't even walk at the time. Like he had
yeah,
just had a surgery and I felt so bad. And you were like, "That's it, don't pay me." I was like, "No, I'm paying you.
yeah,
This
yeah,
isn't your fault." But I think I had you wrestling like somebody else and I
yeah.
can't remember. And then I had no shows and it was just like I was 8 months pregnant.
Right. Yeah,
My
you were.
ankles were
Yeah,
like this, tree
yeah.
trunk.
I know. I seen that. I'm like, whoa.
I don't know what I was
Boy,
thinking doing that show.
yeah, boy, you're you. That's gonna hurt, Francine.
Well, you know what I always wanted to ask you? Did you ever feel bad about beating me up?
No, you know what? I'm going to tell you a story, and I've never told anybody. Well, I've never
Oh.
told you this.
Oh, I'm scared. Okay.
So this was when I broke your nose. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, I was referring to all the gores I took, but yeah, the broken
Oh,
nose.
well, that was just business. But
That was just fun.
right, the okay. So do you remember Sandman wanted to jump on my shoulders, and you're managing PJ, and then do like, but he wanted me to hold you or hold him, and then you're supposed to grab his leg, and and Sandman's not as graceful as he may think sometimes. I love him to death, and I understand where he wanted to go with it, because he's like, do a Frankenstein, and I think
Right.
he used to do Frankensteiners, and they actually for being a guy his character and his height and weight, he do him really well. But anyways, we're in and we never use crash pads except in New York. So you come up to grab his foot, and you're there, and he jumps up, but he doesn't jump up and land on my shoulders. He like jumps towards me, So right when he jumps towards me, I feel us going over, and I'm like, oh, I got to try to hold him so we don't fall, to the concrete, because it was concrete. It was that venue in Virginia, it was like the outdoor theater. We have one over here. It's called was DT, but it's Pine Knob. The amphitheaters, and half's outdoor, and it was a great crowd. And then when we came over, you thought it was Sandman's foot that hit you in the nose,
But it was
and
you.
it was mine. And I went with it. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Sandman's foot hit you in the nose. I'm like, because I felt so bad, and nothing was intentional.
Right.
You got color, I remember, and
I did.
so anyways, so I think you had black eyes the next day.
I did.
But I also, and Sandman thanked me because he was going head first down to the concrete, and I was able to reach back and grab right the turnbuckle, you know. So I stopped the momentum a little bit so we could over rotate. But yeah, that was the day I broke your nose, and I didn't have the heart to tell you. And then the next day you came to me because you watched it on the ECW Hardcore Cam. You go, "Oh, it was your foot that hit me." So I'm like, "Oh, the jig is up," you know.
Jig is up.
I broke your nose, but yeah,
No,
it was strictly an accident.
Oh, I know that, and I never I
Yeah,
never
you
got
never
mad.
mad at me. Yeah,
No, I would never get mad at you, but I remember exactly what happened, and I remember there was a table set up in the ring, and you guys were supposed to do the thing through the table, and I remember tugging on the leg, but seeing you guys come, and I was like, "This isn't good. Like, this isn't going to end well." And like I remember getting kicked because I was like, "I wonder if there was a steel tip in the boot."
No, it was just the side. It was just the momentum of my leg and foot coming over. Yeah, even though I slowed him down. So, because if he would have, I mean, by the grace of God, I was able to grab that, and that slowed the momentum down. Because if not, he would have came down on his head, and I would have landed right on top of him.
Oh my God!
So
I remember I got kicked. I hit my head on the side. And then Chili Willy comes, and I'm supposed to like have a dance off.
Yes.
And I remember there was and then I'm supposed to cane him after we dance, and the blood was just squirting. And I remember I grabbed the cane. I said, "I ain't dancing," and I just started.
Yeah.
And then Tommy ran out and grabbed me because I mean I remember they stuck the 2 tampons were up my nose, and I was just sitting there in the back with these tampons, and it broke the bridge.
Yeah, and you go, "Oh yeah, Sandman's foot," and I went with it. I'm like, "Yeah, that damn Sandman."
I don't care. That was called a drunken Kunrana, a drunken.
Yeah. And supposed to, he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "You know what? I might be able to do this, you know." And if he would have jumped up and on top of my shoulders, kind of like Sabu and everybody, but he just like jumped at me.
Well.
So. Yeah. But anyways,
I remember that like it was yesterday, and I remember getting in the ring with you and you just looking at me and just saying, and you don't remember this. He always used to look at me and he would go, "You're a slut," because I like slot machines. "You're just a slut," and I would try not to break character. And Matthew's score me. "You're like slut."
It was funny because I would do stuff to pop Sabu, and he was the hardest to pop too.
Was he?
Yeah. One time this was after ECW. It was like 05, and we were in Jersey someplace, and it was like a theater setting, and it was like 45 minutes east of maybe a half hour east of Newark, but packed house, and we're fighting through the crowd, and he hit me, and I turn around, and I just started screaming, and then he came to me, and I didn't think it was that funny, right? And he would laugh, but he turns me around and he goes, "Ha ha ha, stop that." And I'm like, "Oh my God," he laughed. So he punches me again, and I just start screaming even louder, and he was laughing even more. So yeah.
He's the best when he would punch you, and if he potatoed you, he'd go, "Sorry."
Yeah.
Did the F word, then he goes, "Sorry." It's okay.
Sometimes he'd apologize before he'd hit me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, that's supposed to come after.
He was great. I mean, everybody always says, like, who was your favorite to work with? Everybody was so good in that locker room. Like, there really wasn't like a bad person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, did you ever have an instance that you were like, "Oh God," like it messed up so bad that it threw you off, and like was it a house show, TV? Like, did you ever just stop and say, "No"? Professionals.
Right.
Throw Rhino off, people.
Right. No, everybody was great. I remember the one time Sandman and New Jack got into a fight, and it escalated quick, because normally they, people, the guys would just go off and fight off on their own, and that was that, even in other companies. But they got into a fight, and that threw me off, because I'm like, why would you just, but it escalated real quick.
Like in the ring?
No, it was in the back. It was in the guys' locker room.
Oh, that's I was there. That's the night that I screamed and Dreamer was holding the merch money, and he dropped it.
Yeah.
He dropped it because he heard me screaming, and a fan picked up the merch money and ran out the door.
Yeah.
Stole our
Yeah,
merch.
That was that night. Damn.
You know, and it was just two men, you know, like I said, it escalated quick, and they always loved each other. So it wasn't, you know, bad, and it was over with. And I think more so I was getting out of the shower and I was getting dressed, or it was before I took a shower and I was packing all my bags, and then my bag got kicked and everything went everywhere. I think that's what upset me the most. Maybe not them actually fighting, but fuck, I gotta pack this all over again.
Were you? I think you were. Were you in the ring when Hack got naked in Pensacola? Were you in that 8-man?
Yes, I was in that match.
Yeah. Okay. So we watched it. We did it as a watch along, and he's like completely naked.
Yeah.
I know.
This is my big cane, and this is my little cane. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, and then him and Jack get no? That was a pay-per-view. Him and Jack got into a fight afterwards in the bathroom. Yeah, because not Jack Victory.
Oh
yeah. And then because he came around and he whacked Victory in the when he wasn't paying attention,
right?
And it got his ear and ripped out his earring, and
I remember that.
Oh wow!
I remember that.
Yeah. And then he called them off to the back, and they got into a fight in the bathroom, and I think Van Dam pulled them apart, and it was done, you know. But yeah, that was that whole night, because I think I was traveling with Hack that loop. Yeah. So
he was drunk from.
Yeah, we were, because we stopped and got oysters. And I didn't like oysters.
That's an aphrodisiac. Yeah. Did you have a double date or something?
Maybe that's why he was so wanting to drop his trousers, because he was feeling the groove of the oysters. Because actually, because I think Rob was at the same hotel or something. I think that was the same loop, because Sandman got a big escalator. Or no, it was I know the Florida loop, but where were we? Pensacola?
We were in Pensacola, and I'll never forget it, because when we were in the locker room, it was early. I mean, we were there at like noon for summer. We were there really early. And I remember we were all sitting in the locker room, and I was sitting facing this way, and he came up behind me, and he was naked.
Yeah, he was naked in the locker room.
He put his penis on my shoulder. And he's going, Francine, turn around. And everybody's giggling. And I felt something, but I assumed it might have been his penis. And I was like, get it off me. I'm not turning around, and get it off me. Yeah. He thought it was hysterical. And he was picking up brushes and brushing his pubic hair with the girl's hairbrush. Oh,
God.
Right. Well, do you know why he did that?
What, put it on my shoulder?
No.
Because he ate an oyster and he was romantic.
No, right.
Brushing the pubic hair. We're running out of options here.
I don't know.
Right. Well, he said, because if you remember, I think we had to be there early because Paul had a meeting, right? Because the checks were late. And then remember, New Jack, he looked out the window because you could see the water, right? He goes, I see the money coming on the boat or whatever, joking around. And Paul would explain, the money's moving here. I forget exactly Paul's speech, but and the checks weren't terribly behind, but they were a week or two behind. He'd hit a couple and catch up, but anyways, so Sandman later told, I don't know if he told me this or if an interview, or I don't know how far. It wasn't too much later after the incident. I don't think, but he said he did all that to take the heat off of Paul, because everybody, was tired of checks, being late or whatever. And so that's what he said the motive behind getting naked was, and it just escalated from there. And by the time he got to the ring, he was so hammered. I remember being in the ring, and I'll tell you another good story about this. I don't know if I've ever said anything about that, but I remember him coming through the crowd, and he looks at Dreamer. He goes, "I'm so effed up,
Great.
drunk. I'm so effing drunk, right?"
Right.
So I'm like, this is going to be a great match, right? So
Your expectation just went down.
right. So here's something I don't think I've ever talked about, but because I don't want to admit I was still a little green then. I was only 5 years in the business, and still I'm green, but
Get out of here.
I forget what the actual finish was, right? So Hack's doing a couple things, and by this time the whole match, we just want to get out of there, and we gave some time, and I mean everything's just getting sideways. So I kept kicking out, right? And then finally he hits, the finish, whatever it was, 1, 2, 3. And Dreamer was like, "Why were you kicking out?" I go, "Because it wasn't the finish he called." He goes, "Well, it doesn't matter when stuff gets terrible like it did, and goes south real quick." He goes, "Just, let's 1, 2, 3 and get out of there."
Oh my
And
gosh.
the fans weren't robbed because it was one of those events that go down in history. Yeah.
This was a classic moment of anything can happen at a house show.
Right.
Because unscripted, we didn't have to follow any rules.
Right.
I think I had already worked, so I was sitting, like there was a stage. I was sitting just watching through the curtain, and I could not believe what I was just like, oh my God. Like at one point he went and he grabbed Jazz and tried to bring Jazz to the ring, and she had no part of it, and she ran to the back. Oh, it was a mess. And like your face, like you looked confused, but you were trying to look mean, but then you would look confused and look, and then Carino was trying to be Carino, and he's looking around, and then Tommy, you could just tell, is pure disgusted. Like his face was just fuming, and I'm just like, are they bringing it home? Like, are they going to work? And you guys tried to work a little bit, it was like, it was amazing. It was so good.
And you know what was funny is because we had I think it was a 8-man or
yeah, it was 8-man.
Yeah, okay. I remember, and it was like the week before we had the same the same competitors, people involved, and it went great. And it was in Dayton, or I'm sorry, Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And we were up first too, because Raven and Hack and Dreamer and whoever was it, Carino, and it was just great. And then they say, "Paul, you've got to check this match out. This is a main event anywhere, so we'll throw it in there in the main event." And then that happened, so it never happened again, that match. But yeah, in Columbus, Ohio, it was that small building we'd run, but it would just be packed and just intense. And it went awesome. And and then well, you got to check this one out. Here's my big cane, and here's my little cane. Down goes the
DVD is ECW Pensacola, Florida. Sandman gets naked. That's what it says on the DVD.
Yeah. Right. So the match is out there or no?
Oh, it's out there. We watched it.
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, we do watch alongs every week on the Patreon, and I made sure to put that on as one of the matches we watched, because I was telling Chad, I said, I was there live. And it was amazing. So if you've never seen it, you have to check this out. And he was just like, "What the hell am I watching?" I was like, "I don't even know." Couldn't even tell you. But it's that kind of stuff that like made ECW just so different and special. Like I always tell people, if it sounds so corny, but if you weren't a part of our locker room, you wouldn't understand. You don't get it. And you had to be one of the boys in our locker room to understand everything that we went through together.
Right.
Because some of the stuff, you can't make it up. Like, it's so bizarre.
I remember him using I think it was Dawn Marie's brush.
The hair brush.
Yeah. And she's like, "Well, I'm never gonna use that again," And a lot of people were put off by his antics in the locker room, because remember, it was like this big open,
Yes.
room that we
Lots of
changed.
windows and yeah.
Yeah, and he was just and I understand, his motive behind, when he said he was trying to get the heat off of Paul, right?
I mean, if
So
that's honest, that's nice
yeah.
of him, but I just thought he was just wasted too
Oh,
early.
he was wasted.
I
Yeah, I think he
mean,
had to get wasted to do all that stuff.
right. I mean, that's really, oh my God, that's so crazy. There's a question for you. $10 super chat. Michael's Wrestling Channel says, "Hey Rhino, I remember meeting you back in May or June of 2013 at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Chad wants to know, who did you face at that show? Because I am thinking X-Pac. Do you remember that show?"
No, yeah, I if it's Jerry Lynn's retirement match, I haven't. I don't think I've wrestled X-Pac since WWE. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
I
said
know
Jerry
that-
Lynn faced X-Pac in Jerry Lynn's retirement match, not Rhino.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's because meeting you back in, because I know I don't do a lot of if it was Minneapolis convention, yeah. Because I remember who did I wrestle? I remember
who was it?
sitting next to Al Snow at the gimmick table. Yeah, so
Okay. Well, Michael, thank you for your question. Tell us about the company that you run now.
it's called IWR, Insane Wrestling Revolution, and we want to try to get you in, Francine. So.
Well, the last message I got was, let me talk to my business partner, and that was like a week ago. So
I've been well, I had a show the 28th, 29th, 31st of December.
You're very
And
busy.
then I left on the 3rd for I think it was a 6-day loop up in Canada. Then I got home, and then
I healed you and said, "Hey."
Right, and then I'm like, well, sure.
I'm kidding, though. Don't take my text to
Oh
heart.
no, I thought you meant to ask for this, ask to do this.
Oh no, I wanted you for this because you said you would do it from the arena.
Right.
So
I
was
thought that's what you were talking about. Yeah. And then I left for TV. I drove down there 3 or 4 days ago. So
how often do you work for Impact? Like, is it once a month that you guys travel for them? And then
sometimes it's twice a month. They and Impact's been great. I mean, it's Demore runs it, and he's really built a solid locker room. And when talent comes and goes, he always keeps a good solid locker room. He'll bring in fresh talent and stuff, and younger guys, and they'll have veterans to work with the younger guys, and so and the cool thing about it is they find a way to get all the talent on TV. So that's very important because they know they're talented, so that's why they're there. But sometimes other places, you're not overexposed. It's like you're not overexposed there. So sometimes, people are always in every segment, and it's just like, all right, come on, and half the roster isn't on the TV product. So, but they do a good deal at putting people on.
I got to go to an after party, and it was just Impact people.
Yeah.
And most of the people I never met in my life. And I said, oh, they're not going to want to, I'm old. Like, they're not going to want to talk to me. And let me tell you,
came over,
they were the best. The girls I loved. All the girls that were in that room were awesome. The guys were the sweetest. Like, there was 22 people in the room. Shane and I were like the oldest people sitting there. It was so fun. And I was getting flashbacks to the 90s. And I was like, I want to be an Impact. These kids are fun. Like, it seemed like such a great locker room to be in.
Oh, it is. It is. And that's, and Scott realizes the importance, and, you have to have, and even Triple H, when he was the one that, wanted to bring me back to WWE to work with a lot of these guys at NXT, being in the ring with, a veteran and a guy that's been on TV, and, and even, I've been blessed to be on TV all these years, whether it was with ECW or WWE, and then, with Impact for so many years. And then from there, I was with Ring of Honor for like 2.5 years. And then I was with NXT. I was off of TV maybe the whole since '99, maybe a total of 2.5 years. So I've been blessed enough to be able to stay consistent on TV and relevant, And the cool thing about one of the cool things about online and having an online presence for a lot of wrestlers is they can stay relevant with social media and stuff like that.
That's me.
So, but I don't do any of that,
That's the only way I'm relevant, because I'm nowhere on TV. So I try to get my mug out there somehow.
But sometimes, sometimes when you're online and you have a social media presence, and you could be more relevant than if you're under contract with a company, because sometimes they might not utilize you.
I'm hanging in there. We have a couple questions for you here. Scott Smith wants to know, what did you think about Bully Ray's return to Impact and his match with Josh at Hard to Kill just a few days ago?
I didn't. I love Bully Ray. I always think, not only in the ring, but behind the scenes, he offers so much. He wore many hats when he worked with ECW, like a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I've learned so much from him in the ring and out of the ring. He's gave me a couple great, I don't want to say fatherly, but brotherly advice.
Big brother?
Yeah, big brother advice, and used the least amount of words, but made the most impact. Yeah. And then, but I seen bits and pieces because we were up after his match, but he always hits a home run. And we're at the ECW arena. I actually just worked Rob, and Bully was up with Cardona, and they were up first, and they had a hell of a match.
They did.
Yeah. And it was, I watched that because we were up last, and Rob and we didn't go out until 11:30, and the crowd was so into our match.
Yeah.
And Van Dam is still as over as he was, when he was in.
You.
Oh yeah, and thank you for saying that. But I'm just like, they love him. It's just, and we went out there and we worked hard, and that splash is as tight as it was.
I'm sure it
when
is.
I first took it, X amount of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I'll tell you one advice. I was in a relationship. This is after I was married, and it wasn't a good relationship. I don't want to talk about anybody when they're not here. And Bubba looked at me and he goes, "Can you marry her?" And I go, "No," without even skipping a beat. He goes, "You know what you got to do." And I'm like,
pretty much.
I'm like, that was the most simplest thing to say. Hey, get rid of her, without saying get rid of her. Can you marry her? No. All right. Well, you know what you got to do.
What are you doing? You're wasting your time. Oh my goodness. Hans, hi honey, how are you? Hans wants to know, who was your toughest opponent? He's thinking Taz or Sabu, or no?
I want to say
me. No,
that's a tough one. Yeah.
I'm still fearful of the receipt I'm going to get from the nose.
I love you too much to hurt that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I would probably say Sabu. Yeah.
Sabu. Okay.
Yeah, because you never knew where he was coming. You know.
Okay. We have another question here from Joe Wrestling. What's it like teaming up with Heath Slater in WWE and Impact? We kind of went over that, but you had mentioned earlier you love Heath.
Yeah, it was great because a lot of times it was funny because when you're younger you want to be in the main event, and you're like, oh, I'm not in. I'm second match, or I'm third match, and you're like, and and a lot of times when you're like, oh, this show's dragging on, man. I kind of want to get a meal before everything closes. And when you're in the main event, you're wishing you're first or second or third, and so Heath and I, we were always up before intermission, right? And if we were up after intermission, we wouldn't go politic to get ourselves, but we're just like, oh man, this really sucks. But tagging with him, and if you're usually there's 5 matches before intermission, And usually if we were third, and it was awesome. But when we wrestle with the Usos, we're usually right before intermission, and that was always fun. So
You guys are a great team.
yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep you any longer than I can. Maybe you can come back and do a part
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to. Maybe we'll watch a show together, a couple matches.
That would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
What a great, maybe we can watch the Sandman naked match, because I have it.
We just finished getting that out of our eyes, though.
We'll watch it again. I
Right.
cannot get enough of it. I'll
Yeah,
watch it every day.
I would definitely like to see that because I've never watched that. Yeah.
See, we can get it from, what is that? What are those reaction videos where they put the little box and then you watch it and Rhino could be like, what?
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. That'd be a good one.
What was I wearing? I was wearing my black outfit, right?
Oh, geez.
Or a red one.
It's very grainy, so it's hard to see what a lot of people were wearing, but
okay. Yeah.
Sure.
All I know is he is in the buff. He has no outfit on.
We know what somebody's not wearing. Although we do have to address
suit.
too. I just shared the video the other day on Twitter. The match where Francine climbs in the ring and performs the wiggle on you from behind. I did share it the other day.
Smiley on you.
An unsuspecting wiggle performed on Rhino.
I don't remember. Where was that at? Do you know?
It was in Staten Island.
Okay.
We must have worked it out ahead of time and thought it was funny, but as I'm watching it back, I said, "What the hell am I doing? I don't even know." Just trying to pop it, but you couldn't see me.
Right. One time I tried to do the spinneroni. It was so bad, but I was a baby face and Booker was a heel. This was for Impact, and the people loved it. So if I ever seen a video of that, I'd probably say the same thing. What the hell was I doing?
Let's Chad, make a note that we have to find that video.
Yes,
and
in Liverpool. Yeah,
making a note as we speak.
We'll have
Liverpool, England. Yeah,
Liverpool, England. Please write that down.
For TNA Impact.
Do you have anything that you want to promote or tell the people where they can find you?
No, I don't do social media. Yeah,
don't do it. Okay.
I have something, but Impact Wrestling. So we're we're on every week. So
okay. Does your company that you run, do you do any syndicated TV or YouTube channel?
No, we have a YouTube channel. It's IWR Wrestling. So yeah, check us out. And we run in Monroe, Michigan. So if you're ever in the area and people want to get a ticket, but yeah, we run great shows. We have VIPs at 6:30 to 7, and then 7:30 to 9. So we got a 9 o'clock curfew on the building. So we run Thursdays normally, but if we can't do a Thursday, we'll do a Wednesday.
Okay.
So yeah, we usually put 300 to 400 people in there. So.
Well, I'll work with you.
It's a great atmosphere. We want to bring you in.
Yeah, so. I will. My price probably scared you, but that's for everybody
else.
Yeah,
we'll have to
do what you can because I like you.
Yeah. No, and it'd be a great too. Shane always comes in, and Shane loves it, and so.
All right, but let me know.
It's a very good extreme fan. What's cool is we have kids, and then we have adults, and December was like our anniversary show, so we always do great there, and there's a bar there, so the building, they get the bar. It's the FOP. Oh, this
is the Wiggle.
Okay.
I'm sorry, he cut you off in mid-sentence.
No, that's okay.
Oh, you missed the Wiggle.
Here's the Wiggle.
This is so stupid. I don't know what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Norman Smiley. I don't know. Just being stupid.
Who jumped on you?
I think it was Dawn.
Dawn. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a tag team then.
That's funny.
It was probably when I teamed up with
Lance, maybe.
Yeah, Lance, and I was teaming with
we just watched it and I can't even remember what it was. I think it was
I don't know because most of the time I was on the opposite ends with you, but I remember being with you doing promos together, 3 of us. And maybe it was PJ. You were
Yeah.
working, I
Okay,
think
it
you
was
were working with
okay. It was
PJ.
Dreamer, Raven, and Sandman versus the Impact Players in Rhino, Staten Island, New York, November 11th, 1999.
Right, but I'm saying like when I worked with Rhino, like as a heel,
Yeah, you were usually with
PJ.
Dreamer.
Well, yeah, when Shane
Then
left, I went with Tommy, but then I went with Scotty for a minute, and then I went with PJ with
Right,
Just
right.
Incredible, and you teamed up with PJ for a while because we were doing vignettes together, the three
Right,
of us.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So I
yeah.
got to work with you and manage you, but most of the time I was getting the crap knocked out of me by you, which was a pleasure. So thank you, sir.
That was a good wiggle, by the way.
Oh God, it was a horrible way. I don't even know what I was thinking of.
Right.
But anyway, this was fun. It was nice catching up. I'm so happy I got to see you recently.
Yes, for sure. And we'll have to have you in. So
Keep
we'll
me
probably
posted.
look at March.
Oh, look, I'm
Get
available.
to fly in and then fly out. So
What if I just want to stay and hang out? And
well, you know what?
go to
That's
that
the
bar?
summertime. We'll take you out on the boat.
Oh yes,
So,
let's do that.
Yeah. So,
But I'll tell my husband I have an extra signing.
yeah.
So I can say that today. Because he doesn't watch this channel, does he?
We'll put you up in nice hotels. You know what's funny is when we have male talent come in and they need a hotel, we put them at hotels that were worse than the Econo Lodge. So yeah. But whenever a lady comes in and we always put them up nice and yeah.
I'm telling you, you're a gentle giant, sir.
We try. So, but that's actually my business partner Gary does that. If it was up to me, I'd put them in the Econo Lodge too. I'm not that much of them.
I want to be where the fun is.
Right. I'm 47 now. I'm going to bed right after this, so there's no fun happening in this neck of the woods.
I hear no. Well, maybe we can stay up till 10 o'clock if I come.
You know what's funny is Heath and Connor came in and for a show in December, and talk about fun. One of our sponsors brought a bunch of food. Amaya's. They have a restaurant here, and the owner brought a bunch of food for everybody. And afterwards, this is so old school, and Connor, they bellied up to the bar, and they were there right after their match. They didn't even put a shirt on. They started drinking, and they were there until 3 o'clock in the morning.
In their gear.
Wow.
In their gear. No shirt, no nothing.
Lovely.
The sponsors loved it, and they closed it down. Yeah.
Wow. I'll go over there in my hooker outfit to the bar.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, everybody's eating, everybody's talking and having fun, and when you run it, you're cutting checks and you're making sure the ring's loaded, the venue's cleaned up, and you're cleaning up the locker room. And then I'm leaving at 11:30, and then I call the guy that's supposed to take them to the airport, and I'm like, "Hey, make sure you get them." He's like, "Yeah, I just crashed in the room. We didn't get out of there till 3 o'clock in the morning." I go, "Please tell me they didn't put their shirt on." He goes, "No, they were in their gear and shirt until they were done drinking."
I just want to tell you one thing. I don't accept checks, and you should know why. So,
right.
So, maybe from you, but not from anyone.
You don't have to run to the bank.
Oh my God, 9 a.m. Open the door. Let me in.
I never had a check to bounce.
I had 10 in a row.
Whoa.
I had 10 in a row, but he paid all the bounce fees. They were $35 each check.
Right.
And I went and I showed him he paid all the bounce fees for me. Yeah. So thank God for that. Yeah. But 10 in a row.
Right. Yeah. That might be a record, I think.
It's one I did not want to achieve, but
right.
Made good off it. So
right.
Anyway, this was fun.
A lot of fun.
Thank you so much for coming on.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll talk again. And whenever you need me, just give me a call.
Okay, for sure.
We love Rhino. Thank you.
Right, Rhino. Have a good night.
We love you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, buddy.
The man beast.
How fun
Rhino.
is he? He's so fun.
He stayed almost a whole hour.
Oh, he's so fun. Really quickly, we missed 2 of the super chats from Telhan. It wasn't a question for Rhino. That's why I didn't stop to answer. But he says, "Have you ever met Deborah or Tori No, I never met either of them, although Deborah and I follow each other on Twitter. But one of these days I would like to meet her.
Deborah McMichael?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. But how fun was that? He opened up and told us some secret stories that were in the vault.
He did.
And, I love it. Angel Medina. Hello.
Yeah, he popped up before. I couldn't squeeze it in.
But Angel, when are you going to come on and be a guest? I had asked Angel a long time ago. Angel, we want you on. Contact me. We'll have you on here.
Play handball with my checks.
We can talk about that if you want to come on, sweetheart. I miss you. Nice to see you in the chat. Rhino was great, hon. He's just so like he's so. I mean, all of us are, but he's just very soft-spoken and just easy to like get along with and converse with. And then you see him, and he's such a monster. And he's such a good character, and he's such a good soul. So
I just think about what I've seen him do to tables on my television screen, and then to hear him speak so softly and so eloquently, it's just amazing. It's such a transformation, but it's just the art. It's just amazing how he can do it so well and for so long. Yes, and to see him say that it was only 2.5 years, and guess what? During those 2.5 years, he was on top of the independent scene as a top attraction.
And
so
you know
he
what
really
else?
hasn't been out of the spotlight.
You know what else is funny too? We were talking about the Legends show that we were all just on, the ECW Extreme Legends, whatever. He's like the youngest guy. He's one of the youngest guys at 47 years old, and he's still out there and about and kicking it and just he's awesome. He's still in great ring shape. He's still working at the level he was working at like 20 years ago. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? He's not one of the guys that got in the ring slow, by the way. Yeah. Like the rest of us did.
Oh, that got in the ring slow. I get it now. It's funny. Yeah. I didn't remember how recently he was actually in WWE as well. I just saw clips of the greatest Royal Rumble that they did in Saudi Arabia a couple of years ago, and Rhino is in it. And I didn't even remember that he was in WWE that recently, but that was only like 3 or 4 years ago. So
yeah,
it's incredible. What a career. He's
got a great career, and it's not stopping anytime soon. He's still on a roll, and Impact is lucky to have him because he is a wonderful talent and a wonderful person. So what a fun interview. That was so great. I'm so glad I reconnected with him, and hopefully I'll get to go and work his show. That would be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I like how these YouTube lives have become the Eyes Up Here interview series.
Why not?
It's been incredible. Yeah, no, it's been awesome. These the transformation of these YouTube lives have been a lot of fun. I like it.
Yes, and Angel, yeah, you're coming on. Angel has some good rat stories. I know that. So.
Oh.
I don't know what he can tell and what he can't, but yeah, he's got some stuff up his sleeve. So we'll have to talk, Angel. I'd love to have you on the next maybe the next live we do. Maybe when I come back from Disney. So we'll be in touch, buddy. But yeah, that was great. So last chance. We have about 5 more minutes. If anybody wants.
Oh wait, let me get the we're in like stereo. Let me get the picture back up here. Well, that was like some Matrix stuff right there.
That was crazy.
There you go. That's what we're playing for.
I was going to say we have this up for sale. We have this for raffle this evening. $5 super chat or more get you into the Charles Chip jar, and it's signed by Shane and I. It is an 11 by 17.
11 by 17. That is correct.
It's pretty big. All right, buddy. I'll text you and we'll set something up because I think you would be such a fun guest to have. I hope you're well, by the way. So we have I want to get Heath on too, Michael. Absolutely. I'm going to try for him. He's an
awesome interview. He's so much fun.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. So we have another 5 minutes. If anybody wants to get into the Charles Chip jar for the drawing, please do so. And what's going on Patreon? Do we have
I haven't loaded them in, but Patreon is absolutely loaded this week. It's loaded. We started off this week with picking up a feud that has been talked about forever, and shoot interviews, podcasts, and it doesn't seem to be over yet. But Ric Flair and Shane Douglas are still going at it on podcasts and YouTube streams. And we weigh in on both of it in a very democratic way. This is not a one-way fight. Oh, hold on one second. We have a super chat coming in.
Oh, Hans, you have another Charles chip jar, by the way, hon. $5 super chat. Francine, who have you stayed closest with from the ECW crew? So I speak the most to Shane Douglas, Jerry Lynn, Sandman. Those three, we actually talk on the phone, text, keep in touch. A lot of the boys through social media. I talk to Sabu a lot through DMs. I've been conversing with Rhino a lot since him and I had last seen each other. CW, I like to keep in touch with, here and there. It was just his birthday, so I texted him and wished him a happy birthday. So a lot of the guys I've kept in touch with, but those are the closest to me. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Walter. I appreciate that. You're going into Charles Chip Jar again, Hans. I'm putting you in right now. So there we go. And I was very close with Tammy, but we all know what happened there. So, boop. There we go.
All right. So what I was saying, so on patreon.com/Francine podcast, we kick it off with talking about the franchise Ric Flair continued feud. Shane had some comments about Ric Flair on a video podcast he was on YouTube. Then on Ric Flair's podcast with Conrad Thompson, Conrad asked Flair about that question, and then Flair had some comments back about Shane. I showed the clip to Francine. We comment on it, but then Francine talked to Shane about it. So after we comment on the actual show, we then comment on the comments that Shane gave to Francine. So it's a crazy little trade-off of comments.
You said comment 52 times.
But that's what it is. It's a comments of comments of comments. That's what it is. That's how we started.
Comments going on there.
We also have the biggest story.
Blue Meanie. Sorry, yes.
Oh, he's here too?
No, I still talk to Blue Meanie. Yes, I love Blue Meanie. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We also have the biggest story in wrestling history is on Patreon this week.
Oh yeah.
We all know what that is. Hello. Vince McMahon's back. WWE for sale.
The big to do going on over there at is it still called Titan Towers?
I think they might call it I think they call it WWE Global Headquarters.
Oh, okay.
But it's I don't know if it's officially moved, but they have a new headquarters down the street, right?
Oh no.
You can still see it from 95 North, but it's not I don't know if they've officially moved, but they're down the street now. Bigger building.
Oh, okay. All
right. And then I'm not telling you what it's going to be. You have to sign up to Patreon. It's a watch along, but I'm not telling you what it is.
Gotcha.
Secret. How you like that?
So I sent Rhino a text saying, pretty much, you were so fun. Thank you so much. And a little kissy face. And he wrote, my text wouldn't send. I thank you first because I'm a professional. LOL. Thank you, young lady. And he has a screenshot of what he sent me. That didn't go through. He's great. Yeah, that was fun. Okay, well, that sounds like a good Patreon. If you're not a Patreon member and you want to become one, please go to www.patreon.com/Francine podcast. All different tier levels. Cheapest tier level is $10 a month. And for any level, you get to come on and do extras with us. And it's so fun. So we have a super chat from Scott Smith. $5. Why didn't the OG San Fran toy makers never make a figure for you? Scott, what a good question. So the ECW figure line is what you're talking about, I believe. I got all of the we didn't have a scanner back then. I think it was just like pictures. I joke and I say it was a sketch artist that drew because it was all so old. But they took pictures of me, and there was supposed to be an action figure. And then I remember when all the figures were coming out, they told me the women's line would not sell, so they decided to scrap my doll, my action figure. So I never got one. So there's your story, which I disagree. I feel like men would have bought mine just to have the collection, like as a whole, of all the ECW talent. Like, don't you feel like that? Because that's what they do now.
Didn't we talked about this before? Isn't there pictures of it online of your submitted pictures, right? You're in like a white attire.
No, that was for the video game.
Oh, the video game. Okay, but there are the pictures that were submitted to San Francisco toy makers. And then also, and I can't remember if we made this story up or you told this to us. Wasn't there talk of you being a part of the ring accessory? Like you would be the ring, like they buy the ring and you'd be the figure with the ring. Did we make that up, or was that a rumor?
You made that up in your head.
Oh, I did? All right. I thought maybe we talked about that on the air.
No, well, the one that Figures Toy Company, there were 100 special ones that came with like a table, a microphone, and a kendo stick. Is that what you're thinking of?
No. I thought maybe there was a rumor that your figure, if it was made with the San Francisco Toy Company, it would have been included with the ECW ring.
Oh, no, I never heard that.
I feel like I heard that as a rumor. If there's a major mark somewhere in this audience, please address that. I don't know where I heard that, or if that was just a concept that we discussed on that one episode we filmed like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all, but what an idea that would have been. But
sounds great. Let's spread it. No, that's an urban legend.
Looks good on paper, but they literally just said women won't sell, so we're not going to do you. And I was just like, great. Thanks a lot. And at 40, what was I, 49 or 48, whatever, is when I got my first action figure. So,
well, when you signed the contract, you were probably like 41. And then when it came out, you were like 49.
Like 87 years to get the doll run in here. All right. Well, I guess it's time for the winner. Woo! I'm going to pick a winner. All right. Good luck to everybody. Thank you all for your super chats. Here is the winner. Oh my goodness. Look at that. William. And look at William being all smug. I'm only going to enter one time. And he did, and he won. So doesn't matter if you enter once or 17 times, you have a fair shot. William, you're still here.
Please send your name and address to this email address on the screen, and we will get that photo out to you the upcoming week. There was no mail on Monday because of the holiday, so expect it to mail probably towards the end of the week, but please send your name and mailing address to this email address on the screen, and it will be headed to you.
Yes. Scott, I'm so sorry. Hans, I'm sorry. Everybody, I'm sorry.
Scott, I love you. You know that.
I picked Fair and Square. You saw. Look, there's the rest of the names are in here.
Scott, I was sweating it out. I'm not going to lie.
Oh,
you know how much it would have cost to send that to Scott?
Hans said, can I buy one of those? Do you have one for sale?
Hans, email that address and I will take care of you. And yes, you can email that address and we will take care of you. Yes, you can.
All right. Well,
Scott, you can too, but the shipping will count and it will be high.
Yes. This was a great show.
Yes, it was.
What a great night. Thank you all for coming. I probably won't see you guys for a little bit because I will be in the house of the mouse. So until I return, we'll do this again, and we'll get another cool guest to come on because I like when we do these with a guest. Makes it fun, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, this was great. Appreciate everybody for continuing to comment and throw the questions.
And Happy New Year. This is the first live of the
can't say it anymore. It's too late for that.
No, it's not, because this is our first live.
Yeah, but it's too late.
Happy New Year I hope everybody's 2023 is blessed and the best year yet. It is not late, and I just did it because it's my show and I can do what I want. So there. Anyway, where can people find you, Chad?
If you want to follow me, it's at Chad EMB on Twitter, at IB Exclusives on Instagram. If you want to go to my website, it's ibexclusives.com. If you want to listen to the Chadster in any greater detail, head over to youtube.com, type in Get My Go into the search bar, and go listen to or watch the first 2 seasons of Get My Go, and check out the season 3 thus far. It's been a banger, as they say, and more to come in the Get My Go universe. So please support Get My Go. Head over to Mike Durban's Pro Wrestling Tee Store and get yourself a bottom right t-shirt, and you will not be disappointed. So go support.
Okay. And across the board on social media, you can find me at ECW Diva Francine. If you are not subscribed to this channel that you're watching right now, please hit that subscribe button. We're approaching 7,000. My goal for this year is 10,000. I hope. I have 11 months to do it, 11 and a half. So let's get there and spread the word, because, we want to grow this channel and do more fun stuff. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. And with that, that is a wrap.
Hit that end button.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll talk soon. Hopefully we'll do this again in about another month or so. Okay. Love you guys. Take care.